Hari Om. Start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. So the teacher gave exhaustive analysis of the Brahman alone is Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma Nehananascha Kinchana, taking the Upanishad statements and describing that which is indescribable, and that is the nature of Brahman, and that has to be recognized because I cannot see the Brahman anyway, and that has to be recognized in and through the world only, not sitting somewhere or doing, because I am seeing in and through the world because he himself became many. That's what the statement is. Now I have to see because he already became many, so I have to see in and through the many only that which is pervading everything, that which is changeless and nirgunam, and all that has to be understood. Therefore one has to use the subtle intellect to pick up that which cannot be picked up otherwise, which cannot be described otherwise, which cannot be felt otherwise, which cannot be neither mind nor the eyes, nothing can see because it's infinite nature. Yet it is consciousness that I am, so I cannot negate it because I cannot negate myself. Therefore it is expressing myself as the Adhara. So Aham Brahmasmi has to be understood properly, and this is now the final instructions the teacher is now giving before ending the class, and that will take from the 473, and we'll take only a couple of slokas from this. Nirastaraga nirupasti bhogaha nirastaraga nirupasti bhogaha shanta sudanta yatayo mahantaha Shantaha Sudanta Yatayo Mahantaha Vijñāya Tattvam Parametadante Vijñāya Tattvam Parametadante Praptah Param Nirvrutimatma Yogat Praptah Param Nirvrutiyatma Yogat. So here the description of the nature of the reality is what is the nature that the Jivan Mukta also is being described here. It says Nirasta Ragaha. So all ragas are nirasta, means have given up or essentially have neutralized. So all the raga dveshas are essentially recognized as mithya only. They may be there, but their effect is like the fangs of the snake has been removed, and therefore now the beauty of the snake is preserved, but it's no more dangerous, that it cannot bite anybody because that has been the poison has been removed and the fangs have also been removed. So therefore the snake has become now a bhushanam, and that's what is the Pannaga Bhushanam. So Lord Shiva wearing a Pannaga Bhushanam is nothing but the raga dveshas are being removed completely. They become ineffective, and now they become a decorative only for, so Swamiji like this or Swamiji like this, and all that people, disciples are go and run around to please, but not that Swamiji likes and depends upon it, but it is a fascination for the disciples also. So the description of Lord Shiva in terms of Pannaga Bhushana, Nilakanta, all those descriptions of Lord Shiva is nothing but the attributes which doesn't belong to him actually. So Nirasta Raga, ha. So there is no more raga, that means raga dveshas are not there. So there is no more desire for enjoying anything. So raga is a desire to enjoy this is. So there is no kama. So sarvan partha, all desires are, the kaman is essentially the desires for, or prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan, and that's what nirasta raga is. nirahasta bhogaha, nirapasta bhogaha, nirupasta bhogaha. There is no more enjoyment of the bhogi. If he enjoys when it comes, not that he hates anything, he enjoys as it comes, and if it doesn't come also, he is enjoying himself, because enjoyment is reveling himself. So here the Mahatma or Jnani enjoys all the senses, all the enjoyment that one can sense can get, at the same time also higher, because the mind is calm and quiet. We mentioned that whenever the mind is calm and quiet, the consciousness reflects on that, and that's what called Anandamaya Kosha. The longer and the deeper the mind is calm and quiet, the happiness that one gets out of the enjoyment also is very high. So that since the Mahatma's his mind is always contented, and therefore it's always calm and quiet, therefore there's a reflected happiness. So reflected happiness of Ananda that you get outside for other people, he enjoys that simultaneously. There the Ajnani enjoys one object to the other object. So it is essentially sequential enjoyment, whereas the Jnani enjoys even the Sukhanubhava, even the sense enjoyments is simultaneously, because his mind is always calm and quiet, as quiet and calm as a bhogi enjoys, and whenever he enjoys, his mind is calm and quiet. That is essentially is nirapasta bhogaha. He enjoys, and not only he enjoys the reflected consciousness or anandam that one can get by all the objects which are essentially reflected reflected happiness, that is Anandamaya Kosha, but also he enjoys the supreme, because that is his nature also. So he enjoys both this as well as that also. That's what Upanishad says. So nirapasta bhogaha shantaha, so is shantam shivam advaitam chaturtam manyante. So mind is always peaceful in spite of the ups and downs that undergo. He maintains the equilibrium. He acts as though gets excited and all that, but comes down. That's called FIR reduction. So the mind, the frequency of perturbation, the intensity of the perturbation, and the recovery time from perturbation goes down, so that he is more and more calm and serene in spite of perturbations that are really occurring. He may act properly where anger is required. He may show anger, but the anger is only controlled anger, whatever is required in order to get the work done, or get the action done in a way, or to set the disciple properly also. So shantaha Sudantaha. So the Sudanta is the controlling all the senses, so he can let the senses go whenever he wants it, but other side it is under control. We mentioned about the Ganesha, where Lord Ganapati with a supreme intelligence, that's what elephant head stands for, with a large ears, that means he has capacity to listen all the time, with the small mouth, that means less talking and more listening. And that's what is Ganesha, because people are always complaining to, oh Lord, I have this problem, I have this problem, he has to listen. So everybody is starting him only the prayer, please let all know vignas. So he wants to make sure that whatever vignas that are there are controlled. And that Lord Ganesha is picturized in terms of the Lord, picturized in terms of Ganesha. And there is a mouse there, and mouse stands for the mind, and Ganesha, the whole head, stands for the intellect. So highly discriminative intellect with the little mouse. Little mouse cannot do anything, even though sweets are all over the place. The modakams are everywhere. But he will not allow, until he allows, the mind will not go and go after. Only when he allows, the mouse will be eating. So same way, he says Shantaha. So sometimes mind is always peaceful, because it's always full. There is no emptiness. There is no, the inadequacy is not felt. And Sudantaha. So therefore, the senses are always under control, because it's turning towards the higher. Yatayoho Mahanta. Those Mahantas, those Yatayaha, those seekers who are Mahantaha, the great people, because the Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatasya. In the ladder, to reach that state of understanding is very rare. This is Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. After many lives, because of the merits of so many lives, one jnani recognizes that, and that is essentially Mahanta. Therefore, he is the most respectful people. Says the Swadese Pujyate Raja Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. So the Bahutru Subhashitam says the king is only respected, or His Highness, Holiness, and His Holiness and all that is respected only in their country. But a sage is respected, a Vidwan, the one who is a knower, and this is supreme knowledge, and therefore he is respected everywhere, and therefore that is Mahantaha. Vijnaya Tattvam Parame Tadante Prapta Param Nirvutimatma Yoga. So Vijnaya Tattvam Vijnaya Param Etad Amte. So in the end of all the struggles of life, struggles are gone. So Param Etad Vijnaya Tattvam Vijnaya. So having known the essential truth that underlying the whole universe itself, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, the bottom line, that which is the substantive of all the three, and that is undifferentiated, and that the nature of that is Tattvam, that is Tattvam only, that you are only, and that is Vijnaya. Having known that, Praptaha Param Nivrutim Atma Yoga. By Atma Yoga, Atma by own Atma Yoga means yoking the mind to the Atma. One way, that means recognizing that I am that self that pervades everything, and Nirvrutihi. So essentially, Ananda Swarupam, I am infinite, and Praptaha Param, he attains by the Yatayaha Praptaha, the sages or the seekers or the Jivan Muktas attain that state. That is why essentially Videha Mukti also is implied here. So as long as in the Jivan Mukti, we living in the body, mind, intellect, because of the prarabdha of the body, mind, intellect, body, mind will continue until there is no more prarabdha left, and that drops out. When it drops out, the sage already realized, he already really gone already, he has Brahman already, and the body now also goes, matter goes to the matter, the gross matter becomes part of the gross matter or the Virat, and the mind goes into the Hiranyagarbha, and the Buddhi becomes part of the Ishvara, and all the three, that is essentially three stages of the described in the Mundaka Upanishad, and that essentially becomes the matter goes back into that, and Brahman is essentially, this is described in the way the Maitreyi Brahmana, Yajnavalkya described in form of a salt crystal. When you put the salt crystal into the water, it slowly dissolves itself and pervades the whole pond. And where exactly is the salt? It is everywhere there, and that's how the merging of the Videha Mukti also, it merges into that, because he himself is being expressed here, now he is going back into that. That nature is essentially being described here, and that is what is Mahatma is. Then in the next sloka it says, Bhavanapidam paratattvamatmanaha swarupamanandaghanam nichaya. Bhavanapidam paratattvamatmanaha swarupamanandaghanam nichaya. Vidhuya moham swamanah prakalpitam murta krutartho bhavatu prabuddha. So murta krutartho mukta krutartho Muktaha is a word is Mukta Krutartho Bhavatu Prabuddha. So Bhavatu Kruta. See, Bhavan, hey Bhavan, see, now he is addressing the disciple. My dear, says Bhavan apidam paratatvamatmanaha. So this idam paratatvam is now this, recognize this one. This is the highest reality, and through your own Atmanaha, by your own self, now recognize this by your mind. You have to recognize what it is. Swarupamanandaghanam nichaya. Realize or recognize that your own swarupam, your own nature, which is anandaghanam, which is pure, infinite, it is ananda swarupam and limitless, therefore Brahman, and that you have to recognize. Vidhuya moham swamana prakalpitam. All the moham, that is kalpana, all the delusion that is being created by the mind, give up all that. Vidhuya moham, and mukta krutartho muktaha bhavatu, and krutartaha prabuddha. So prabuddha means awake from to that higher state of reality and make your own life krutartham. Krutartham means the accomplished mission, get accomplished the life purpose itself by recognizing that supreme reality. We'll take the last sloka of the teacher. Vedanta siddhanta niruktiresha brahmaiva jivaha sakalam jagatcha akhanda rupa sthitireva mokshaha brahma dvitiyam shrutaya pramanam. Vedanta siddhanta niruktiresha brahmaiva jivaha sakalam jagatcha akhanda rupa sthitireva mokshaha brahma dvitiyam shrutaya pramanam. So Vedanta siddhanta niruktihi. So Vedanta siddhanta, by Vedanta, that is proposed by the Vedanta, which is essentially niruktam. It is that which cannot be described any other way. That which cannot be any other means cannot be other than the Vedanta. So Vedanta Siddhantam, which is nirvachaniyam, that which cannot be described and being described by the Vedanta. Esha Brahmaiva Jivas Sakalam Jagatam. Brahma eva jivaha. This is what the description of Mahavakya. Brahma eva jiva. Atma is nothing but infiniteness, is your own nature. And Sakalam Jagatcha, the whole universe is nothing but Akhanda Rupa Sthitireva Mokshaha. So whole universe is nothing but yourself expressing in different names and forms, and which is Akhanda Rupam, without unbroken, you pervade the whole universe itself. Eva Mokshaha. And recognition that I am that Brahman, and that is called moksha. That alone is moksha, where there is no the desha kala vastu parichin, the parichinatvam is not there. No divisions, no limitations of space-wise, time-wise, object-wise, because it's infinite, and that alone is Brahman. And akhanda rupa sthitihi eva moksha. That alone is the moksha. That alone is liberation. And Brahmadvitiyam sutayaha pramanam. That Advitiyam Brahma is what the scripture is pointing out, and that is what is Shruti itself is, that is Pramanam, that is the means of knowledge for us. So Shruti is a Pramanam, and why is Pramanam? That's a means of knowledge which cannot be known by any other way, and that essentially what Brahma Advitiyam Srutayaha Pramanam. Recognize that and become one with it, and recognize your own self, the whole universe itself. And for that, Vedanta, recognize that Vedanta is the means of knowledge, and using the Vedanta Vichara, recognize that you are the total, because it's pointing out the oneness of Brahman and yourself. There is no division of any kind. You are the Satchidananda, and do not take yourself what you are not as. You are recognized because you are looking for Ananda all the time, and that's what you are. So if your question ask the initial question of all the questions that we will ask, says the student asks the question, everyone is taken up, and ultimately realize you are the totality, and there is no more even questions left, because in the recognition that I am Brahman, that's what Vedanta teaches. And for that, teacher is required also. Through the teacher, we are learning the Vedanta, and this study has to be continuously until the Nididhyasana, contemplating on the teaching, and Sravanaha, Mananaha, Nididhyasana, until it becomes a crystal clear and it becomes internalized and one gets abiding in the knowledge. So with that, the teacher stops the teaching, and the student will go and sit in the meditation and requires to do the Nididhyasana, and after many years come back to the teacher with the knowledge, and he expresses his gratitude. That we will do in the next talk. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।